The usual post-election peace in Bengal has been replaced by physical clashes right outside the state's EVM strongrooms, the secure facilities where electronic voting machines are locked away before counting. The government deployed massive companies of central security forces to lock down the perimeters, but the crowds are overwhelming. The security personnel are taking a severe physical beating trying to hold the line. In a rare departure from standard protocol, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee herself has personally rushed toward these EVM facilities to lead the charge. The target of all this tension are counting centers like this one. Wrapped in heavy wire mesh and fortified from the outside, they look more like military installations than civic buildings. The ruling party, the TMC, is actively protesting right at these fences. They are loudly accusing the Election Commission of allowing outside manipulation and failing to maintain transparency inside the strongrooms. This panic has climbed the judicial ladder. Formal petitions have been filed all the way up to the Supreme Court, demanding that these central security forces be entirely pulled away from the counting tables. With the ballots already cast and the machines sealed, the ruling party is in a state of high alert. Their fear stems from a terrifying mathematical prediction that just dropped on national television. The catalyst for this panic was the release of the election exit polls. These are the surveys conducted by data agencies right as voters step out of the voting booths. But in a highly unusual move, one of India's largest and most prominent polling agencies, Access My India, outright refused to release their prediction data for Bengal. This pie chart illustrates their core problem. According to their field team, a massive 70% of voters in the state completely refused to name the party they voted for. The agency pointed to a deep climate of fear keeping people quiet. When you try to build a definitive forecast out of that remaining 30%, the statistical model falls apart. The agency decided that guessing the final result was mathematically unsound and too big of a risk to their reputation. Political analysts quickly pointed out another angle. In the previous 2021 elections, nearly every major exit poll got Bengal wrong. Many suspect the polling agency is using the silent voter narrative as a shield to avoid another embarrassing public miscalculation. Meanwhile, millions of citizens are caught in the middle of this standoff, waiting to see how their quiet choices will eventually steer the state's leadership. While one major forecaster backed away from the table out of caution, another agency looked at the exact same volatile environment and published a prediction that sent a shockwave through the region. That agency is today's Chanakya. They stand out because they have accurately called the exact outcome of the last 4 consecutive Bengal elections. Look at this bar chart tracking their newest projection. It shows the challenger party, the BJP, capturing 46% of the vote and surging straight past the majority threshold to a massive 192 seats. Following that exact model, the incumbent ruling party plummets down to roughly 100 seats, leaving them well short of what they need to hold on to power. This projection of an established political powerhouse collapsing is mirroring massive data disruptions happening hundreds of miles away in South India. Down in Tamil Nadu, a brand new political outfit launched by film star actor Vijay is projected to instantly capture 22% of the vote and over 60 seats on its very first try. Over in Kerala, the traditional two-party tug-of-war is dissolving. A third major competitor is successfully siphoning off 18% of the vote, making the margins there incredibly tight. While surprises in the south signal a shift in local preference, for the Bengal government, the 192-seat projection represents an existential threat to their political survival. Those numbers immediately leaped off the television screens and materialized on the streets. This single dataset is the psychological weapon that drove the barricades to break at the strongrooms. The violent protests and the siege on the counting centers are a direct panicked reaction to today's Chanakya's forecast. For the chief minister, projecting absolute confidence and aggressively questioning the security arrangements serves a dual purpose. It keeps her groundworkers motivated to fight, while simultaneously laying the groundwork to dispute the final tally if that polling data proves correct. The opposition sees it from an entirely different angle. They argue that her physical presence at the counting stations is a calculated tactic designed to intimidate election officials before the first seal is even broken. All of these arguments, the massive data models and the street protests, ultimately collide against the physical reality locked inside the electronic voting machines. The interval between the vote and the count has become a theater of war, generating more strategy and physical clashes than the actual election days. Whether or not that 192-seat landslide actually materializes on counting day, the reaction to the numbers has shown us something undeniable. The battle to control public perception and project power is just as fierce and carries just as much weight as the votes cast in the booth.